Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site in an archive post thingy there, and on Patreon for extra support. Everything is done there also, and of course on Twitter I do my updates, usually when I go live, and again when I publish the videos I also update everybody there. So yeah, give a follow there in case you want to get the latest things, at least when I do something on the channel there. I didn't do any live streams yesterday. I was trying to I took advantage that just edited some videos for backlog stuff regarding Jedi Survivor and also Mutiny Zero, so I have things in the backlog so I can publish on time and I don't get delayed on that. And also I managed to get around and basically do everything regarding the VOD stuff. So today, along with Mutineer Zero episode, I will be doing at least the episode 29, and then I got the 30. Usually I don't put a timetable on these ones. I will probably do both of the VODs today, so I can do like get over with that one, mainly so I can have don't have strains on the backlog regarding the VOD stuff. And again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do live streams today, but yeah, when I do, I do announce it on the Twitter when I'm live there. Yeah, regarding live streams, I don't, in Elden Ring, where are we at? We reached Altos Plateau, we did some stuff there on the carriage stuff and on the perfumer ruins and all that thing. We did something, some stuff there. Yeah, and we climbed up to that alternative path, and then we did some stuff when we reached that Altos Plateau there. I need to do some more exploration, see what's happening in that initial area. Then I will try to get around to get the map fragment for that area to see what can be done there. Yeah, I think that's it regarding the channel update there. Let's go for some news. We got some stuff happening on the pink here, especially AMD. I covered this one, that some like early information, let's say, of the fact that these new CPUs, the 8700F and the 8400F, could be like China specific market CPUs here, mainly because probably the fact that because they don't have iGPUs, that they didn't want to, I don't know, they wanted to, I suppose they have like less inventory on these ones, but because I assume it's like lower yields from, I don't know, from the CPUs, no, the iGPU stuff there was not working, so they turned it off and all that stuff, and they didn't have a lot of inventory. But supposedly they are global, so you are going to get official information from AMD that they are going to be global, but mainly they are going to be more part of the system integrator stuff, their programs. So you only at this moment in time going to be able to get these CPUs if you buy a complete system. That's why they go for the system integrator stuff. But you got official, at least the core stuff and the base and max boost clock stuff, and also L2 L3 cache, and yeah, they basically already launched. But yeah, there is no MSRP again, because they're not going to be sold at this moment in time like a solo product. But yeah, at least we got an idea how they compare itself with the rest of the 8000 series there, which is like mid refresh of Zen 4. Yeah, they're basically a little bit lower on, for example, the 8700F. It's a little bit lower in terms of clock stuff on the 87G, which has the iGPU stuff there, and the 8400F is like a smidge below 87600G in terms of normal clocks and boost clocks. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know regarding the 7000 series, so the already launched discrete parts there. I don't know how they compare themselves, but yeah, at least we got a reference point now on the at least from the lineup with all the specs that have been unveiled here. Again, it's a shame that we only have this as a system integrators thing here. But probably if they don't dispatch that much of inventory on the system integrator stuff, probably they will do like they did with previous CPUs, which is just launch and give it the MSRP stamp there and sell them. Basically, I think what's going to happen. Just give it at least like a quarter for them to analyze the sales of those CPUs, and then we'll see how they will go about it. We got on the GPU side, we got Biostar, which is doing a lot of Intel Arc GPUs. They launched a budget-friendly Intel Arc A750. I'm not very in line with the current. I'm not very familiarized. That's what I wanted to say with the current Arc GPU stuff. Sorry, but this one, the A750. In terms of specs and in terms of performance at this moment in time, it's very in line with around the same performance that the 6700 XT GPU, and it usually is, even with this new variant here, they just basically stamp like a simple cooler there. Again, these GPUs don't offer that kind of huge amounts of performance and don't have this kind of need of having like over-engineered coolers there. Even though they require two PCIe 6 or 8, I don't remember. They need two connectors for PCI Express there. But again, it's not that much. It's around 220 watts kind of a thing there. And if they found around that $200 price, it seems to me that it's a pretty good deal, like at least not kind of around an entry level to a certain degree. It's got 8 gigabytes of VRAM, which is not awesome, but for this kind of price, around 200, it's supposedly cheaper than the 7600, if not mistaken. And of course more cheaper than the Nvidia options there, especially on this price point. You will not find anything decent from Nvidia. You've got probably the 4050 stuff there that it's shit show, and even previous generations there. At this price point, or you got some decent deals on AMD. If you even find 6650s XTs and the roundabouts there around this 200 to 250, or you get an Intel one. And they've been improving a lot their game. You got the launch of the new version of the upscaling technology. I think it basically puts itself in terms of quality in line with the DLSS, and it's superior to the FSR, at least the FSR 2.2. I don't know regarding the FSR 3.1. I completely forgot if they already launched or they just are in a beta or early preview or something like that. But yeah, comparing with the FSR 2.2, it's way better. It's on the same level that that DLSS from Nvidia. The DLSS, the latest version 3.7, if not mistaken. But yeah, at this price point, I think it's a pretty good entry-level GPU here to play stuff around 1080p. And you can ramp up a little bit with the like upscaling technology there. I think 8 gigabytes might be enough for most games to play with there. It's good to see at least in the lower end or the entry level you can get some stuff that it's worth the price there. Regarding gaming news, we got Bellwright launches later this month in early access. Again, this is from like a team of people that were they did modding stuff for Mountain Blade. Again, I never played this kind of games, but it's always good to see that they managed to get around doing a lot of mods for a particular game. Then they move to Of Kings and Men and later Last Oasis, and basically to a certain degree, I assume they acquired enough experience to be confident to launch a game. I think the game from the premise itself, it seems very similar. Again, it's what they are familiar with kind of Mountain Blade kind of style game there. Basically, the premise is, as a player, you have been framed from accidental death of Prince years ago, and then for like trying to clear out your name to a certain degree, you have to go back to the place that you had to leave years ago. Of course, supposedly you're going to uncover your family secret. Okay, it's very familiar tropes, but those familiar tropes are well proven that they work. It's more about the game systems and how they will work. And again, I didn't read the entirety here because it's not usually something that I will play, but this kind of indie efforts, I think they are well worth mentioning. And you got a huge Q&A from the developer team regarding this game. And yeah, I think it might be good at least to keep a watch on it. This might be a pretty good game by the fact that you don't have at least Mountain Blade kind of games there on the market. And I think it's, even though it might be a little bit niche, I think it deserves always some good opportunities for people that start off with modding, and then they manage to assemble a small indie team to work on a game. Again, usually they use early access to get like to launch something that is playable, get some money out of that to continue to develop the game, and also taking advantage of getting some feedback on the systems they are working on. But yeah, it's good to see. Again, I usually don't recommend jumping in early access, at least if you're not unaware that the developers are not mandated to finish the game. So it's always there is always a chance of risk. But again, when you see a game that you might think it's good and it's early access, just try to inform yourself the best you can if it has a good a chance of coming as a full release. And if they are really listening to the players community there, they usually go around on Steam and in their forums. It's always good to check first how things are going before taking the plunge there on giving initial money for an early access, which is to a certain extent a demo. But yeah, at least we got something that might be worth. So I leave it here for you to take that decision or not. We got some more updates regarding Horizon Forbidden West. Suppose we got the patch version 1.2.48.0. Suppose it's going to address corruption on Radeon 6000 GPUs. A lot of more fixing bugs and such. A lot of it is user interface bugs that were there still, and also remove some stuttering that was happening there. So there has been some optimization. Again, I assume this optimization is vertical stuttering kind of a thing that was happening, not so to a certain degree it was a lack of optimization in certain areas. Yeah, even though again there is no FSR free support at this moment in time, even though they are working on the background. So I assume when it's ready they will announce and do another patch version there. Yeah, it's one of those that I'm interested still in checking out the first one, even though I didn't hear like excellent, or I'm not sure if it is even on par with the first one, but it's something I will intend to discover by myself with time. But yeah, again, I just wish these ports and this for example remasters and such they were launched in better shape in terms of performance, and avoid just weekly patches and people just struggle through all of these issues. But yeah, given that, for example, visual corruption Radeon RX 6000, it's like a mainline. A lot of people have this kind of GPU, so that's why I think yeah, it might be a struggle for a lot of people that bought the game. And I think I'm like while I'm talking about it, I think it's what I might be seeing here and there on the Jedi Survivor, some visual corruption. Again, I don't know the exact term. Sometimes I see when I play and turn around, I see some blank things, like white things, squares or whatever it is. I don't know if it is something to do with that visual corruption or artifacting. I really don't know how to differentiate themselves from a technical standpoint. But yeah, but it can be distracting sometimes, but I don't see like every time. It happens from time to time. But yeah, and then we got an opinion article or opinion video, depending on if you prefer to read or listen, from Extra Life regarding Dogma 2. They already played, at least one person played 250 hours, and they give they go about very briefly on the several things regarding the game, from the beginning that can be a little bit difficult to get into, the fast traveling stuff, the exploration, itemization, so items and such, and weapons. They go about the combat stuff, also the NPC mechanics, quest lines, and then they give like, is it going to be probably game of the year or not? But yeah, it's always interesting to see, at least after 250 hours, you for sure you have a better sense of what kind of a game it is, and at least it's something for you to, if you didn't buy the game yet, something that is worth, it's more information for you to ponder if you want to take a chance on the game or not. For me personally, I got so many stuff on my table to go around and playing. I'm very occupied with Elden Ring, and I'm doing my gameplay series. A lot of those gameplay series are to catch up with stuff that I missed throughout these last 5 to 6 years in terms of gaming. But yeah, eventually, hopefully when I reach that moment, the game is very well more fine-tuned, and hopefully all the performance issues are basically ironed out, hopefully, when that time comes. But yeah, I got a lot of games to catch up. At this moment in time, the most recent game that I'm playing, I think it's Jedi Survivor, came last year, I think, and then we got Elden Ring, and then the rest I will try to keep it up and catch on all the games. That's where I am at the moment in my game library, because I got the Tomb Raider trilogy to go through. I got the Resident Evil 7 and 8, so they are older games to a certain extent, at least Resident Evil 7. Then I want to replace some of them good ones that I had a good experience, for example, Alien Isolation. I will probably, in the meantime, buy the rest of the Wolfenstein reboot mainline games when they are on the deal, and make a gameplay through there. I got to do another season of XCOM 2, something that I want to go about it afterwards also. So there's a lot of stuff on my plate, and taking my jump on like newer games, then I miss the chance of catching up with older games. I cannot put my time on only new games and take a chance of going through the struggle of the performance issues that we were seeing in all the launches, at least the last 2 years, since I started covering more in depth and more with more attention to gaming stuff in there. Yeah, it's been a lot of struggling in terms of at least optimizations regarding the game launches. A lot of patch has to be done, patching has to be done in like in the immediate 2 months after everything. And to a certain degree, while I'm catching up, when I catch a new game, I got the benefit of the game is already at least launched at least 6 months. So if they had time to patch and iron out any kind of situations, they already been ironed out. So to a certain extent, I will get a better experience from the people that bought on day one. That's why I usually tell people that when the game launches, don't ever pre-order. I think it's a mistake there. Never pre-order unless there is like a super duper collector's edition that you really don't want to miss out. Then I cannot going to tell you not to buy. But avoid pre-ordering at all costs, and never buy the game at day one. Always wait. You can start by checking the mainline or mainstream kind of things to see how they feel about the game. I don't know, let's say IGN, GameSpot, and all those bigger guys. You can have like a sense of how the game is at. Then you have to trust in some more independent creators that do review games. You select at least a handful of them that you trust, and then you wait for their reviews, and then you start seeing on the news, catching up at least in the week afterwards to see if there is like issues that will come up, like performance issues, if there is anything that might be game breaking or something like that. Yeah, you always wait for that because the game will not there is no, usually at this moment in time you can get the game on a digital storefront, so there is no the worry of the game not being available physically. You can get it on Steam, Epic Game Store, GOG, something like that when they launch on this platform, so you always have that option if you really want to buy the game. So by the fact that you wait around 2 weeks to 1 month to see how everything is coming out, I think it's a better choice of it's my recommendation. As a principal person, I never bought any kind of game on day one. The only thing that I did since I gamed for 20 years is I pre-ordered the Shadow of the Earth 3 DLC. It's the only time that I pre-order anything or buy anything real close to the day one thing. Mainly because I started already playing the Elden Ring stuff. I was amped up. From Software as a pedigree of not missing a mark, and that's why I recommend. I don't preach for you to not think. It's my recommendation. You will get a better enjoyment if you follow my recommendation. Then it's not a mandatory thing. I will not stop talking to you if you don't follow my recommendation. It's my recommendation because of the experience that I had and seeing other people going through that experience of or pre-ordering something. For example, one of the things that come to mind is a lot of people pre-ordered the Fallout 4 kind of collector's edition. They were promised I think it was the bag there in a material, and then they got like a plastic bag or something like that, something on those lines. Again, and they paid pretty huge amount of money for that, and they just got a cheap bag instead of I don't know what material they promised, not leather but flannel or something like that. I don't remember. It was a big thing at the time. But yeah, my overall take is don't pre-order, don't buy day one, wait a couple of weeks, always check reviews, and give it at least around 1 month to see if the game itself has any kind of technical issues, which at this moment in time all games, even Elden Ring launched with some technical issues, and they needed a couple of weeks and months to iron everything out. But yeah, that's my recommendation. And with that, we're going for gaming deals. We have Ghost Runner. I think this game is good. I think there is already a Ghost Runner 2, but I think it's not on the same level of the first one. Again, I never played this game, but again, it's for free, so might as well claim it and at least put it on the backlog. Because I think it's not a long game. I think it's a first-person kind of a runner stuff there, similar to what they called. I'm seeing I'm seeing the cover of that game, Runner's Edge, something like that. The parkour game. I think it's on those lines. But yeah, it's for free. Might as well try it, and if you like it, you can play it. On Steam, we got the Batman Arkham Collection. There is some deals with the Warner Brothers games. Again, this trilogy is pretty impeccable, even though Arkham Knight at the time when it launched was an abomination. Now it's pretty good, and you got plenty of mods also for these games if you want to. But yeah, this trilogy is pretty good. We got also a Spiritfarer Farewell Edition. Again, I always recommend this game. One of the things is at least you got a demo to try out the game, see if it is to your liking, and I think the premise is pretty good. And again, overwhelmingly positive reviews. I think it's a good one, and it's 75% off. We got Journey. Again, this is dirty cheap. It's not a very long game. I played on PS3. I think it's when it launched on PS3. Yeah, it's a very good game. No dialogue, no nothing. It's just everything is told by the visuals and the setting of and the journey that you take. You will get the sense of what they're trying to transmit. Got Red Dead Redemption 2, 60% off. I think it's the cheapest that I see at the moment. I'm not sure. I think the last time was like around 50%. Now it's 60%, which is good. And then you got the Ultimate Edition. Not sure what it offers there, but it's 65% off. Again, this game is pretty good. The PC port is works pretty well. Yeah, it's one of those that I probably will try out. Probably by myself. Usually 2K and Rockstar games, they are usually not that friendly with YouTube stuff. I don't know. I have to check them out. I don't know if I have any issues with them before. I played XCOM 2. It's part of 2K, but yeah, I think it's more about the Rockstar games. They can be a little bit finicky if you stream games, but yeah. It's on a good deal here. It's what it matters. We got System Shock. This is the remake one. One of the things that is pretty good. You've got a demo here, and it's 55% off. I think the remake is pretty good. It's very in line with the original one in terms of the feeling. Again, updated visuals. They are not Unreal Engine 5 visuals, but the remake itself, I think it's pretty good. I think they took a lot of the original assets and upgraded them, and I think even the combat feels very similar to that. And of course, it's almost like a remake. It's not a remaster. We got also Hogwarts Legacy, 50% off. I think they are lowering now, because I think the last time was around 40, if not mistaken. I think it's cheaper. Yeah. And you got also the deluxe edition is 50% off. It's not that much of a difference, like $5. It's yeah, the only thing that is that Arc spec. I don't know what that is. I will probably be doing a gameplay of this one eventually. If not by myself, I will see how it goes in terms of. I think in terms of streaming, the Warner Brothers it's not bad. But yeah, I want to try out because I saw the movies. It's a very interesting world there that J.K. Rowling set up there. And I'm pretty confident this is a pretty good game, not only by the fact that a lot of people like it, but I think it's very faithful to that world. You got also Stray. Again, this is a must-have. I didn't buy it for myself yet, but I will be doing when I can a gameplay of this one for sure. 34% off, and you got more like soundtrack. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good soundtrack also. But yeah, everybody knows this game, and I think it's one of those must-have experiences there. We got Cocoon also, Game of the Year or Indie Game of the Year, something like that, from last year, if not mistaken. Again, very positive reviews, very mind-blowing kind of systems there with the spheres would represent worlds, and then you travel worlds within worlds, outside the worlds. It's a little bit mind-boggling, and it's 30% off. And lastly on Steam, you got Dredge. Again, it's one of those Lovecraftian kind of tales of the weird. And it's 30% off on the deluxe edition. On GOG, I managed to see that we got Limbo, which is 75% off. I never played specifically this one, but I think it's very in line with the sequel, which is Inside. This one I played, I managed to snag it on Epic Games Store for free a long time ago. And I already play for myself. It's a very interesting experience. I think it's worth the $5. Yeah, very interesting how they go about it. This guys here, I always forget their name. Play that. Yeah, they do a very interesting games. And Limbo, it's basically what started off everything. Yeah. Very interesting. And lastly, we got Wasteland 3. We got a couple of days. We got Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Now we got Wasteland 3 Colorado Edition. So it has the season pass thingy there, and it's 75% off. So it's a little bit cheaper than usual. I already have them on. Yeah, already bought from Steam. Yeah, I think this is a good one. I enjoyed pretty much Wasteland 2. What I played. And this one is an improvement in a lot of aspects, at least from the reviews that I saw regarding the Wasteland 2. But yeah, basically this is it I got for you today, guys. I would again just wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. At this moment in time, the export is more in line for storage, for me to acquire more storage or have a better storage solution for me, so I can be able to have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.